All right, so let's really quickly talk about the Bulls versus the Bucks. A lot of folks thought that this one was going to be a snooze fest. You know, we just had the game where Boston survived Brooklyn, the scariest team in the league. You know, it was a great game, great back and forth game, a lot of narratives. Twitter was on fire. You know, you had the play-in tournament that we were watching from Friday to now. So folks were saying, listen, get some rest, go get some food, take a nap, do something else, go read a book, because this Bucks versus Bulls game was going to be just filler. Like, this is the, hey, you go in and take a bathroom break, because the Bucks were supposed to blow out the Bulls because the Bulls just aren't in the same league as the Bucks. We were wrong. This game actually was probably the second most intense game of the weekend, right next to the Boston and Brooklyn game. And I primarily hold it to the fact that Khris Middleton and Jrue Holiday did not step up and did not really start getting buckets for real. Well, Jrue Holiday started getting buckets, but like Khris Middleton just simply was not good this game at all. Khris Middleton was 4 for 13. He had 11 points. He only made 1 3-pointer, had 2 attempts at the free throw line, and he had 6 assists, but he wasn't really that impactful on the game. Giannis had 5 fouls, and he played with 5 fouls for pretty much half the game. And it was points in time where Mike Budenholzer took him out because he wanted to make sure that Giannis didn't get any ticky-tack fouls to get his 6th, and now you're playing without Giannis. When the game started, I thought it was going to be that snooze fest game where I can just take a break. I can, you know, maybe get ready to watch verses or do something else. I thought I could do that because Giannis was getting any shot he wanted to because Nikola Vucevic couldn't check him. They got Patrick Williams back. So shout out, Patrick Williams is back. I'm glad that brother's back. I thought he was done till next year. So shout out to him. So shout out to him for coming back. I want to shoot him the same bail and give him the same credence that I gave Collins in Hawks game because they're coming back from an injury, right? So John Collins is coming back from that nasty 2 injuries he had, and Patrick Williams hasn't played ever since like the preseason, I think. So for him to come back, I'm going to shoot him some bail. He has to get his reps up, but Patrick Williams is supposed to be what, the paw? Like y'all call Kawhi the claw, and I think Patrick Williams is supposed to be the paw. He's supposed to be like Kawhi Leonard light in his defensive skill. And I know checking Giannis is a tall task, but I expected for him to at the very least slow down Giannis a little bit. Like Giannis was getting everything he wanted to in that first half. What beat Giannis was that he was getting fouls, and it's the playoffs, so they were calling the game pretty tight. So he was getting a bunch of ticky-tack fouls, and he was in foul trouble, so he had to sit down. Like that was the thing that really killed him. Like Giannis only played 34 minutes. I really think that this game was close because the Bucks didn't play up to their fullest power. If Khris Middleton had a typical Khris Middleton game, gave you 22, 23 points, the Bucks win this game handily. But they ended up winning 93-86. It was a very low-scoring affair. They started out the fourth quarter. Iron Eagle said they're having a rock-throwing contest. I was like, Iron Eagle is the GOAT, man. Shout out to Iron Eagle. He said they were just basically throwing rocks, and it was bricks. No one was making shots. Like the whole entire field goal percentage in the fourth quarter was terrible. They could not, none of them could manufacture a shot. And primarily the Bucks couldn't because Giannis was on the bench because they didn't want him to get that 6th foul, which I understand. But that was when the Bulls could have taken off. And I want to point out, because we talked about the final stretch for the Boston and Brooklyn game, right? Where you had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. They just weren't able to stop Jason Tatum, who had just a straight open drive to the basket. He slashed to the basket. Marcus Smart was able to find him, and he got that game-winning layup. But we gave all that scoring to the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant. We have to give that same energy to the Bulls on that last possession when you have Zach LaVine that shot up an errant 3 when they should have gone for a 2. Zach LaVine was trying to beat Steph Curry. Both y'all light-skinned, but you're not Steph, Zach, okay? Shot up a 3-pointer. He shouldn't have done that. And then they get the ball. You have Bobby Portis that inadvertently elbows Caruso, and Caruso goes down, and they're dribbling the clock out. Now, mind you, it was a 2-for-1 scenario, so you dribble the clock out, and the shot clock, I think it was a 4-second difference between the shot clock. So it's going to be maybe 9 or 8 seconds when they finally shoot the ball and you can run down and try another 3-pointer. But the thing that you should have done is that you should have gone for a 2-pointer, force them to make a shot and make a dagger to take the game away, just like how it happened in the last game with the Nets and the Celtics. But taking that foul on Jrue Holiday was not smart. When they made that foul, the game was over. Because I'm like, why are you fouling him in that scenario? Here's the thing that's funny too about that situation. Giannis wasn't out there. Giannis was on the bench because once again, they sat him down because he had 5 fouls. So they would periodically, every turnover and every whistle, they would take Giannis out, put him back in. Take Giannis out, put him back in. And Bobby Portis was playing in his place for defense because Bobby Portis didn't have an abundance of fouls like Giannis did. So Giannis was on the bench. So that means we're relying on either Jrue Holiday or Khris Middleton, who has been struggling all day. Brook Lopez is only really a catch and shoot guy. He's not like a ball handler type Giannis person. So the only person that really can kill me is honestly Khris Middleton, and Jrue Holiday can get you a bucket too. But Khris Middleton is the person that typically is the closer. So Giannis isn't even out there. And y'all fouled, and then you put Giannis back in. And then Jrue Holiday is a pretty good free throw shooter, and he made both his free throws. The Bulls didn't want to win this game, and they choked it. Like Vucevic, he had a very interesting stat line. He had, 24 points in 39 minutes, 9 of 27 from the field, 2 of 10 from the three-point line. Honestly, man, I do not know how he had 24 points. Like I got to go back. I got to go back and look because he had 6 points from three-pointers, the rest of them 2-pointers. He didn't have a great game to me. He was missing a lot of point-blank shots. It was a shot that he could have made that was an easy layup that he missed. They had an opportunity to steal one. If they stole this game, this is going 6. Because the Bulls got confidence. Giannis was in foul trouble. Giannis could have given you 40. No one could stop Giannis. But the Bulls choked this game away. And that's just simply what happened. This was a better game than we all thought. This might be a better series than we thought. But the Bulls are going to kick themselves for this one. And if they end up getting swept, or they end up losing 5 games, or they end up even just losing game 2, they're going to think back on that last possession when they fouled Jrue Holiday, when they should have allowed them to dribble out the shot clock, force up a crazy shot. Giannis is not there to get in and try to drive in. They could have won that game, or at the very least sent it to overtime. But Zach LaVine trying to be the hero. We don't need a superhero. You ain't Spider-Man. We need smart basketball for you to contend with the world champs. So the Bulls messed up their opportunity. But we'll see what happens, later on in this week when they play game 2. I saw a lot of encouraging signs from the Bulls. Kobe White came in and was balling. He had a whole 5-0 run by himself towards the end of the third quarter. And Alex Caruso has become a really serviceable NBA player. He was a meme at first. He was a meme. But ever since he left the Lakers, his defensive IQ and his defensive acumen has been amazing, and he really affects the flow of the game just with his defense. How he works passing lanes, how he stays in front of his defender. He was giving Khris Middleton like some clamping him up. So Alex Caruso is doing his thing, and that is an encouraging sign. The impact that Caruso had on this game is immeasurable. So I want to see what happens game 2, because I think the Bulls can win game 2. But they need to look at this tape and realize that they had it in their hands. Giannis is not going to get in foul trouble like that again. And you can't bet that Khris Middleton is going to have a game where he only scores 11 points. You can't bet that. Khris Middleton shot 4 for 13, made 1 3-pointer. That ain't happening in game 2. That's not happening. So they might have messed up their only opportunity to really try to stake a claim in this series. But we'll see what happens, because the Bulls, they still have Zach LaVine. They still have DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine had pretty pedestrian games. DeMar DeRozan 6 for 25 in 43 minutes. Zach LaVine was 6 for 19. And Zach LaVine had 5 fouls as well. DeMar DeRozan clearly is the best player on that team. If he doesn't play well, it's all a wrap. So DeMar DeRozan has to step up. He was a -5 in plus minus. He has to do better. 3 turnovers, that was not going to work. Lid on the basket, no one was scoring, but DeMar DeRozan, you the man. You had all the MVP chatter, all that different stuff. People would say they were going to vote for you. They were really talking about you as the MVP. Show me you're that guy when it matters. It's the playoffs. You have to avenge you getting traded for Kawhi Leonard. This is your time, my brother. You got to make it happen. I'm just saying though. But this was a better game than what I expected. And I'm actually very excited for this series now because the Bulls showed me something. But I just hope this wasn't a fluke and that the Bucks don't come back and thrash them game 2.